alone, not physically, emotionally. You were loved, but something always felt missing. This video is here to help you understand a pattern, not to judge or label you in any way. You learned to smile at the right time, to say the right things, to be easy to love. You don't ask for much, you don't complain, you don't make things hard for anyone, but inside, you feel unseen, unmet, unchosen. Here's the part that hurts. People think they know you, but they only know the version of you that feels safe to show, not the real one, not the complicated one, not the one that needed more. You became someone who's easy to love and hard to truly see. That's the paradox. You're surrounded, but not felt. You're valued, but not known. And if this continues, you can build a life where everyone stays, but no one really meets you. You learned how to be loved, but not how to be seen. And if you're here right now, there's a good chance you've felt this before, not in a loud way, in a quiet, constant way. Like something important keeps slipping through your hands. Stay with me, because we're going to look at why this happens, how it shapes your relationships, your boundaries, your sense of self, and why it keeps you invisible, even when people are close to you. What you're experiencing has a pattern, and it usually starts early, not with chaos, not with something obvious, but with something subtle, emotional absence. You may have been taken care of. You were fed, clothed, looked after, but emotionally, there wasn't always space for your full self. Not your deeper feelings, not your confusion, not your anger or fear. So your system adapted. You learned something simple. If I stay easy, I stay loved. This is where attachment patterns begin, especially something called the fawn response, where you focus on others to keep connection safe. You become very aware, you read the room, you adjust your tone, you notice small shifts in mood. That's hypervigilance. And it's not weakness, it's your system learning how to stay safe. But there's a quiet cost. You start leaving parts of yourself behind before anyone else can. And here's a question most people never ask. If you were never fully seen as a child, how would you even recognize what being seen feels like? Now here's what many people don't realize. The same behavior that helped you stay loved can also keep you unseen. You got used to editing yourself, filtering your needs, softening your reactions, becoming more manageable. And people responded well to that. Of course they did. But they weren't responding to all of you. They were responding to the version that felt easiest to accept. This carries into adulthood. In relationships, you're often the one who listens. The safe one. The understanding one, but when it's your turn, you hesitate, you downplay, you say it's not a big deal, even when it is. So connection becomes one-sided. You offer depth, but receive something more surface, and you tell yourself, it's enough, but it doesn't really feel like it. And this doesn't stop at relationships. It moves into your boundaries, or more honestly, the lack of them. You say yes when something inside you says no. You don't want to disappoint. You don't want to feel like too much. So you shrink, not on the outside, on the inside. In your work or career, you might push yourself hard, trying to earn the recognition you didn't fully feel before. But even when you achieve something, it can feel empty, because it doesn't land on your real self. It lands on the version you've been presenting. So you keep going, hoping the next success will finally make you feel seen. But it doesn't. And your inner voice reflects this. You minimize your needs. You question your feelings. You tell yourself to just deal with it. Handle it alone. Don't make it heavy. Keep going. And over time, you can start to feel like a stranger to yourself. At some point, something shifts, because the way you've been seeing this pattern might feel like a flaw, like something is wrong with you. But that's not true. This was never weakness. It was intelligence. It was adaptation. It was survival. You learned how to stay connected in an environment where being fully yourself wasn't always received. You didn't fail to be seen. You adjusted to how you were seen, and that matters. Because now, change doesn't come from forcing yourself to be different. It starts with noticing, gently, where you disappear, where you edit yourself, where you hold back just enough to stay comfortable for others, and then asking one small question: what would happen if you stayed just a little more visible? Not all at once, just a little more honest, a little more direct, a little less filtered. This is how your system learns safety again, in small moments, saying that actually bothered me, or I need a moment to think, or even I don't agree. It can feel uncomfortable because part of you expects disconnection, but something important happens. The right people adjust, the right people move closer, and the ones who don't, they show you something real. They were connected to your adaptation, not your truth. And this is where real connection begins. Not when you're perfect, not when you're easy, but when you're present. Real, unfiltered, honest. If this way of understanding yourself resonates with you, there's more like this to explore, because this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before you had to edit yourself. Let me ask you something. If this felt familiar, which part stayed with you the most? You are not invisible because you don't matter. You were never shown how to stay visible and still feel safe. But now you're learning that you can be loved and seen at the same time, not one or the other. Both. You don't have to perform closeness anymore. You can actually experience it, and it starts by noticing where you leave yourself and gently choosing to come back. You learned how to be loved. Now you're learning how to be seen. You are not broken. These were adaptations,